Hi everyone, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja difficulty. We're on Chapter 13, the second to last level. It is entitled The Underworld Abyss. So, throughout the first section of this video, we're going to be dealing with marionette demons and chainsaw bazooka zombies, and also the gold Van Gels. So I'm going to be using projectile attacks. I'm going to use the UT function of the projectiles. So when I fight the marionette demons, I use the incendiary, I'm using the windmill shuriken, UT, and sometimes these guys will block your shuriken UT. Let's see if one of these guys blocks. No, it either cuts them right in half or they block several times, and I just give up after a while. See, she was blocking. Try it again. Nothing doing. She decided to block it, so at that point I bust out my scythe and then do a UT and then do an OT. Pretty simple. So we're going to have marionettes in this room and in the next room. And okay, so how it works is, for these guys, as you can see, I'm using the windmill shuriken. For the chainsaw bazooka zombies, I elect to use bow and arrows to snipe them with arrows from afar. And then the next section before, one of the next sections before the save point is with those gold Van Gels. So for that section, I like to use a void at first and then throw incendiary shurikens at them. I don't like to use too many of them though, because I may need some during the egg sack process when I'm busting up all the eggs, or the sacks rather. They're not eggs, but they do hatch enemies. So once you clear all the main ones in this room, you're just gonna have one of these guys spawn at a time. Love the windmill shuriken's UT, just cuts them right in half. So this is a very short level. We're going to be tackling the evil form of Alexei for the boss. And I believe, personally, he's easier than his previous form, but maybe that's just because we have stronger weapons at our disposal. We have the true dragon sword, although I had the same weapon. I had the same strength of the... I like to fight him with the dragon's claw and tiger's fang, and I had that up to level 3 in the previous fight with him, and now it's the same strength. We don't get the blade of the archfiend until the next level, and that's at level, that comes at a strength of 4. So it's just like the dragon sword in that regard. It's the dragon sword, the dragon's claw, and tiger's fang. Those both go up to level 4. Anyway, so you see this next batch of marionettes. Here we go. Just doing these attacks here. It's nice when you get a bunch of them all just cut in half. And I made kind of a funny mistake up ahead. It's just because I'm so used to playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, where the save point in that game is straight ahead, like right next to the... right as we go all the way down the hall, and there's that glowing green shaft. It looks like a lantern or something, but it's got some kind of evil presence to it. That's where the save point is in Sigma 2. So I just, without even thinking, I ran right up to it and just stood there for a second before I realized that it wasn't there, and I had to fight those horsemen, the centaurs. So that just goes with the territory. And when you're playing, I've actually played this game less than Sigma 2. I mean, I've played Sigma 2 so many times, but I would definitely want to come back to this game much more, this version. But that's not to say that the Sigma 2 is not good. I think I discussed that in the last video. So here's the cutscene. I left it in just to show you, even though I skip it, what happens. And speaking of Sigma 2, they actually give you a checkpoint here. So odd that the checkpoints are just so sporadic sometimes in video games. I think one of these guys may have hit me right in the head with a cannonball, or that might have been a subsequent take, but yeah, so to expedite all these kills, I'm just chaining attacks with the orbs. I'm just, with the arrow UTs, I'm just finding essence in the air. When I see it, I'll just do it and take these guys out from a distance. Very safe method to deal with these guys. But this is considerably easier than Sigma 2. I mean, you would have to even fight the Tengu brothers in this narrow hallway. Even though I think there's a checkpoint. Yeah, I think there is a checkpoint to fall back on, but you do have to make more progress just to get to the Tengu brothers. So, anyway, here's some more guys. We're just going to snipe these guys. There's the cannonball right to the chest. But I really enjoyed this level. I can imagine some people not liking it though. But in my, going with that thought, I hear a lot of people like the previous chapter, whereas I very much dislike it as the level design of it and how brief it is. But even though this chapter is very brief, I just love it for some reason. It just reminds me of I said this before, like Contra. Like alien kind of stuff going on. So I like to open this door through a void. Sometimes you'll get lucky. Well, it's not really luck, but I guess it's your skill at aiming there. But I only got one of the demon spawns. Now this guy's chasing me. So on the marionettes, in the first wave I used the windmill shuriken, and on the second wave with those chainsaw bazooka zombies I used the arrow UTs. Now I'm using kind of a combination of the incendiary shurikens, and if I get into a bad patch like this, I'm just busting out the wind nympho. So there, we got an OT on that guy. I'm just throwing daggers now. And I believe we have a corpse up ahead that has an item on him. But yeah, I really like even this, even though it's kind of simplistic level design. I like the colors. I like the music. It's very awesome music, and I love bursting those those sacks later on in the level. So I got a headshot on that guy. But then this guy went down too in one shot. And I don't think I got a headshot on him. No, it doesn't look like I got a headshot, but he went down. And now watch as I just go straight down the path, just assuming there's a save point. There's some, what is that? Yeah, you need to grab this, even though because you won't be able to come back to this area. There's going to be a gate that comes up. So I just assumed there would be a save point like right here, but old habits die hard. And then first we need to slay all the horsemen. I knew there were horsemen here, the centaurs, but I thought there was a save point there. I just got my save points mixed up. So I threw that one too early. I don't think it hit anybody. So my mentality... Oh yeah, by the way, this is the level that has the store, has one store. The store that we passed in the very opening, before we even entered this underground temple, this underground abyss, if you will. We had one store outside. That's the only store you get, so you have to plan all your strategies accordingly in here. Make sure you buy a talisman of rebirth, just in case. Just in case if you don't want to do this, because if you die here on these horsemen, you start all the way back at the very beginning of the level. There's no checkpoints anywhere. It's not difficult. I mean, you saw my tactics before. They're very easy to learn. It's just these guys, these are your last stand, so if you don't have Nympho here, this could be very tough. And I think I ran out of Nympho over here. But I did buy a Talisman of Rebirth, and I actually used it on the sack bursting part. I didn't really plan to do that, but I'll discuss how that works. I was going to mention something, but it's not going to elude me next time. It's not eluding me presently. It's just that it's something that it can't help but come to mind when I do it, because it's such a good wisdom to impart to everybody. So even though I got a little health regeneration right there, that didn't mean the enemies were slaughtered. Even though that is what the book says, that this is how it's supposed to work with the auto regeneration. So these guys are all gone. Now I'm going to go back. Well, not go back, but go forward through this tentacled circular door, and it only opens when you kill all the enemies. So you do have to kill the enemies, and then there's going to be fish here. So take these guys out. And I was actually just opening boxes and trying to get Nimpo drops, and I think I got at least one. But I should have killed these guys, saved it, and then manipulated the chests until I got a batch of fish that were giving me more Nimpo drops, at least like one per chest. But I'm kind of sick of manipulating chests. I don't really need to do it anymore. So it looks like this one last fish needs to get ready to go. And then I'm going to go back and just open the chests. They have this item over here, I believe, to the left, it's money for me. That's because I have maxed out items. That's either a $5,000 orb or a $7,000 orb, depending on if you have all the items maxed out and your health is maxed out. It's very crucial that you save it though first, unless you don't really care about getting that much money, because otherwise it'll give you just blue health orbs. So here's the money. I could have manipulated that chest, and it could have gave me some fish, but like I said, I'm done manipulating stuff. And then this battle out here, surprisingly, is a very easy battle. I think it's because there's not that many enemies. So we're gonna have a mage like right in front of us. Try to get a beheading. Failing that, get a Azuna drop. I can always count on the Azuna drop to work. I mean, it works unfailingly. In Razor's Edge and stuff like that, it never responds. I mean, it'll respond, but it's just like in this game, if you want to do Azuna drop after Azuna drop, you can. But in Razor's Edge, it's either that they don't let you, which is really fucking stupid, or it doesn't respond, which is even more likely. You know, the controllers don't even respond. But yeah, this engine works so fantastically in both in this game and its remake, or you know, its remastered edition, the Sigma 2 or whatever you want to consider it. So there's a launcher parry right there. Tried to kill that guy with normal attacks to see if he'd give me anything. So I did save it one time. I saved it after this battle. You'll notice an edit over here. But the thing is, you can, if you really wanted to be cautious, you could kill the contents of each sack on this first floor in any case. I mean, this first floor, because once you start sliding down the hills, there is no going back. But all of these sacks up here, after every sack, if you wanted to, you could go back through that circular door, the tentacle door, and save it. I'm not kidding you. You're allowed to. The reason I like to smash that first sack and then smash the sack that contains the Shadow Ninja Reiatsu is only because I like to have a little bit more room to work with. If I shatter the sack that has this guy in it, then I don't have much room because this sack over there is still around, and I could accidentally see. I'm getting a little too close to it now. I could accidentally burst this one open and then have a couple of these enemies to face with the Shadow Ninja Reiatsu, which is not desirable. So I just can't help doing 360 UT right next to a sack because it's more fun than I could possibly relate to you. But if you've played this game, you could probably know how I feel about it. It's so fucking fun. And then tapping on the Y button to do the Azuna drop, it's classic. This has a Shadow Ninja Reiatsu. I think there's 4 of them throughout these sacks. So I believe you cannot get the contents of the corpse until you burst that sack open. But I've never tried to test it. That was a cheap-ass grab right there. Motherfucker. Also, watch out for the discs that he throws out. They can go through the walls, just as they went through the rocks in Chapter 10. See, I released the charge because I knew they would go through the walls. So what I did was I did all of the section leading up to the save point without saving it. But in the past, I've cleared this entire floor and then gone back and saved it before I went down the hill. And the reason I didn't save it this time is just because it's just not necessary. I mean, you can get through it fine. I may not have had to waste my Talisman of Rebirth, but oh well. I knew I wouldn't really need one on the evil Alexei fight. It's just a luxury, and I don't want to depend on luxuries anymore because I'm trying to improve as a player. I'm trying to fall back on fewer items and stuff like that. Anyway, here's the Devil Way Mushroom. I'm going to apply it to my inventory. I also applied the Herb of Spiritual Life because there's a course over here that contains, that gives you an Herb of Spiritual Life. So the sacks contain Grey Ninjas, they contain Grey Ninjas or Melee Ninjas and or both of that combination. Sometimes the quantity differs. Sometimes you get like 2 Grey Ninjas. Sometimes you get 1 Grey Ninja. Sometimes you get 2 of the IS Ninjas or 3 of the IS Ninjas. Sometimes you'll get like 2 Grey Ninjas and 1 IS Ninja. Sometimes you'll just have a single IS Ninja. So it's the same every single time. That's the thing. If you want to, write down what it is or what have you, but it's really not even a big deal to take it that far. But I'm telling you, every sack, it's always the same enemies every single time. So unfortunately, we can't throw these guys into the wall and delimb them, but I don't know. I'm just killing them with traditional attacks so I could try to get health and magic drops. So here's the one with this. Oh, this one had. I think I burst 2 sacks open right there. I think that first sack had 1 and the second one had 2. But trust me, if you just want to burst that last sack before you slide down the hill and then kill the contents of that sack and then go back and save it, feel free to. And like I also mentioned, if you want to kill 1 sack at a time and go back and save it, I would not even fault you for that because, however you play the game is how you play the game, and I'm not going to diss you. There's other people that would diss you, but I'm not one of those people because I realize that everybody plays differently. Pretty much, I think as long as you can beat Master Ninja, no matter what you have to do, really, because no matter what, it requires skill. I mean, you can manipulate things, as I've been telling you how to do, and I've been doing it less on this guide, not to please the the elitists among us and the people who kind of snub their noses at UTs and stuff like that. But you know what? Where are their videos when they're dissing people? They don't have any videos. So until they produce some videos, it doesn't even matter. Because you have to have stuff to back you up especially when you're dissing people. Have something to back up. I click on these people's channels who call me liars and stuff like that, and they don't have anything. They have no videos. Somebody actually commented on one of my God of War videos on my other channel. This is not Titan mode. And he wasn't even using grammar correctly. He was spelling things right, but he was using stuff grammatically incorrect. He says, "You're a liar. This is not Titan mod," or something. He was trying to say mode, but all he could write was mod. And of course, he couldn't even type out the word U. He had to use the letter U. And he was calling me a liar. And when I read that comment, I was actually in a really good mood. I don't know why I was in a good mood, but I wasn't. Sometimes I get pissed off and stuff. But that particular moment when I read the comment, I was in a good mood. I don't know what was happening in my life, but I wasn't mad. I was actually laughing at that guy. And I told him, normally I would give you my customary "fuck you, motherfucker" response. But instead, I'll just, I'm just going to type LOL because I'm actually laughing. I'm laughing out loud at your stupidity, and more to the point, I'm laughing at you. And I'm sure all the other people who support my channel and who like my videos and stuff, they're laughing at that guy too because he's just a troll. He lives under a bridge. He's a fucking troll. Anyway, I think I had to use a Talisman of Rebirth over here somewhere. But you notice I did just fight a Shadow Ninja Reietsu. Yeah, so there's the Talisman of Rebirth. But you know, I'm sorry to rant, and there's the arm explosion, but I'm not. This is not a rant video. This is the guide. But for the most part, I've had such a great response from the Ninja Gaiden community. So many true fans. Not only watching the video for entertainment purposes, also people, you know, struggling through the game, trying to get help, and my videos are helping people, and that makes me happy. But also people just watching it to be entertained, and that's even more flattering, actually, because they're just watching it, and they're liking me as an entertainer. So thanks, I really appreciate that. Got a parry right there, delimbed OT. Ooh, son of a bitch. Okay, so we have, what do we have here? We have some more ninjas, and then in that last sack, we have a Shadow Ninja Reiatsu, as you could well imagine. Oh, it's here. Oh, there's two more. I forgot about this guy. You know the drill with these guys. Just evade, throw the void, because you're not going to need any. Well, you'll need a little Nimpo on Alexei if you really need to. Well, actually, you probably should have some, because when he goes up in the air, you do need to throw the Inferno for free hits. But one final thought I wanted to bring about this whole YouTube community. So many nice people just giving me recommendations for games, and you know, telling me things about the games just because they don't. It's not that they want to, sound special, that they know stuff. It's just they want to make me less ignorant, and I love that because it's not possible for us to know everything in life. We have to learn it from other people. We have to learn from what we do in life and our experiences and our mistakes. So, by the way, you can unspawn this guy by running over to where the bats are in the little chamber where Alexei is. Just run over there to where the Nimpo chest is, and this guy will despawn or unspawn or vanish, whatever word you like to use. And then we're going to go over here to save it, and also to get some arrows. Now, these arrows are for the bats, but I don't think I'm going to mess with the bats. I mean, I did before, but I had to load the game again and switch my loadout. I think the best weapons to use for Alexei are the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, and the Nimpo of choice should be the Inferno, because he's going to go up into the air several times in the fight, normally. I don't know what happened to this chest. What did this chest have? Nothing. It may have contained ghost fish, and then they got burned up by the fireballs here. Okay, so basically you kind of want to stick close to Alexei so you can melee with him. Now that dodge, or excuse me, that dash across the screen that he does there, that is a grab. But if you evade, if you acquire the proper timing, and when I mean acquire, I'd say you got to practice. Evade in any direction at the last moment. Do an evade. See that evade that I just did, and then you could hit him a bunch of times. And I even did the Izuna drop combo there to hit him on the ground and then hit him in the air coming down with those hits. See that attack? You evade at the last possible second. I actually go press up and evade. That might actually be better. Try up and evade. And here he's gone into his berserk mode. And I had a lot of success doing these Izuna drop combos, and also the flying swallow, that works well. It's just that the damage you receive when he's in berserk mode is off the charts, just out of this world crazy. He's very fast as well, so you've got to have a lot of items remaining in your inventory, because this guy, he just does not like to go down. He's just in like a rage mode, like the armadillos. So if you can contain him, and if you can be evasive and go in for some quick strikes, you shouldn't have a problem dealing with him. He's hard to hit. That's the bottom line. He's hard to hit, and he takes away a lot of damage from you. So I think just one more Fly Swallow will finish this guy off, and then that's the whole chapter. And then we have one more chapter after this, and I got the Greater Ninja rank, I believe. And take care, and thanks for watching.